Yo, what's up, guys? Another day, another thought. Welcome on to another edition of the Double Thought Show. Hope everyone is doing spectacular. As you guys know, I'm RJ here together with my co-host, KR. KR, what's up, man?
Rolling with the punches, man. Rolling with the punches.
All right. Hey, thanks to everyone who's following this pre-recorded live show, as well as those watching the rebroadcast. We have a good one for you today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show.
Before we start ducking punches, guys, let's. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it helps us with the algorithm and also with recommendations. As here at the Double Touch Show, we're trying to spread the word,
Yes, the gospel.
spreading the gospel and spreading as well the love, because love is needed in this world, as you can see in the topic of today. Remember, guys, not remember, guys, to follow us. Even got my timing off, man. Remember to follow us on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook at Double Thought Show. Guys, we're trying to get our subscribers up. We see that 95% of you guys aren't subscribed to our channel. So if you're interested in this topic, so this topic we're addressing today and the updates of this one, and further commentary on other stuff to this similar to this topic, law related, lawsuits related, entertainment, sports, guys. Press on that subscribe button. RJ, we think we're trying to reach a goal, right?
Yes, I know we're trying to reach a goal. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. We have seen, as KR already said, people watching, rewatching, viewers that come back to watch videos. So that means that we do get engagement. We also see the same people, let's say, certain names reacting on several videos. So we do see from the algorithm that a lot of you guys are watching and rewatching, but you're not subscribed. So if you haven't done so already, do us a favor and do yourself a favor as well and subscribe to the channel. We will definitely uh, keep providing you with entertainment. We have a lot of interesting plans and things coming up. So make sure to stay tuned and be part of the first 1,000 subs. As mentioned, it's going to give you bragging rights in the future.
Not only bragging rights. Once we reach the 1,000, we will invite Nate to this show to punch RJ in the face.
For RJ, get the fuck out. Guys, that's not going to happen, guys.
Oh, God.
That's not going to happen. Well,
Oh, man.
sure Nate doesn't hear you because in the next interview, you know what he's going to do to you.
Amen. Amen. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Guys, as we always also say, be sure to hit that notification bell behind the notification bell button. So you're always notified when we drop new videos. Guys, as we always say at the Double Thought Show, don't forget to share the video with your friends, family, your trainer, the one who's choking you out during the MMA fights, your sparring fights. Also, don't forget to stay.
And perhaps at night before you go to sleep as well.
I'm a act as if I didn't hear that. Because here at the Double Thought Show, we have a disclaimer, which RJ is gonna talk about later. But don't forget, guys, to distract your enemies with our videos so you can
Duck,
duck.
duck, goose.
Don't get choked out, guys. Don't get choked out.
Who
RJ,
had, yeah. Before I go to the disclaimer, I think it was Chris Rock that had that bit, right?
which
Because
one?
he had the game Duck, Goose.
Is that one that? Oh no,
No,
that's
no, no.
probably it.
You
That's
have to
probably
duck. Now you have now you have the duck duck goose, which is a game they
Damn,
play.
I said myself. Oh my
And
god.
and you also had the one Chris Rock said that in the hood. I think it was Chris Rock. But guys, correct me if I'm mistaken. But he had the game and I'm gonna he used the N word, but I'm gonna say brother, right? But he said that in the hood they play duck, duck, duck,
N word.
brother. Yeah, yo, yeah. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, as Kay already said before we proceed, the usual disclaimer: the views and opinions showed in the topics, the in the videos, articles, and documents we show on our channel do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of the Double Touch Show, KR, nor myself. Remember that all topics we discuss we do for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised, and all commentary is alleged. Even the comment that KR just made about Nate Diaz coming to the show. Um, we do everything
Guys,
because we do
let us know in
everything.
the comments if you want to see that one. Nate, you can sign.
No, kidding.
It will be put together by IG himself.
Yeah. I'm not going into a stand your ground, stand your ground state for now. But we're gonna talk about that later on. But to proceed with the disclaimer, all commentary is alleged because here on the Double Touch Show we don't know anything. Furthermore, with regards to to gurus, because we are not your gurus either, but if do you require advisors in your life for specific areas, for example financial, legal, life, or any other advice, maybe some some martial arts, we strongly urge you to seek the assistance of the respective professionals in the fields in which you require assistance. And for everything else relating to entertainment, we welcome you to the Double Touch Show.
Yes, guys, welcome. If this is your first time watching, like Audrey already said, welcome. And something we always do here at the Double Touch Show before we start.
Bora! Hora do show!
It's showtime, and today we're going to discuss Nate Diaz and his lawsuit or his case in New Orleans. Last week we talked about it in our break room. We did a short analysis of the situation, whether he can expect the lawsuit, and we were thinking more about him being sued by the guy he choked out, which happens to be Peterson, another MMA fighter, which we didn't know back then, but now we know that he's also an MMA fighter. We were looking at it from a him suing Nate for choking him out straight on the New Orleans streets. We didn't expect a arrest warrant to be put out there, issued by the New Orleans police, but it happened. So today we're going to discuss further. We're going to break down the video. Last time around, we discussed the video without showing it to you guys. Today, we're going to show you a different angle, which gives far more context about what happened that night. Because whether you agree or disagree, one thing is a fact. Can you guess what that fact is, RJ?
He got choked the F out.
Well, that wasn't the fact I was looking for, but that's also a fact. What I was looking for was Nate was wilding out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was assaulting people with water bottles, water bottles, bandos as well, guys. This is very pictures. He was throwing water bottles, choking people out. So he was, well, was he actually wilding out or was he just Nate Diaz? Let's talk about this during this show. Who knows? Guys, I think we can start.
Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? As already discussed, which I said it before, guys, check out our video, which we talked in 25 minutes about this case. This has been broken down into couple of
Chapters.
chapters. We have introduction, Nate throwing bottle, which is him already starting early in the night, wilding out. McGregor trolling. Let me zoom in a little bit. McGregor trolling Diaz the whole night after the videos were dropped on the internet.
Yeah.
We analyzed whether Nate escalated or de-escalated the situation, and will Nate catch a case?
Well, I guess we know the answer to that one. Well, we don't know actually. the
We
answer.
don't, because we were talking about Peterson suing. We weren't
Yeah.
talking about this arrest warrant, but today we're gonna take a look again at a much more in depth how this situation will be addressed by the police and the prosecutor, and whether Nate will get locked up and possibly miss out the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz pay-per-view fight in August. Will Nate miss out on a payday? Let's take a look at that. Anyway, guys, so it all started with that fight, and later on that week, the police issued an arrest warrant for Nate Diaz after the New Orleans street brawl. As we could see, or a lot of people already saw, I'm not gonna play that clip in full. Nate basically choked out Peterson, and I'm forgetting his first name now.
Rodney.
Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney Peterson.
That's a name that's a name. People with names like Rodney should be choked out. But anyway, I'm not allegedly. Allegedly, I'm gonna say that. But sounds like someone who would get choked out. Nate, you wouldn't expect him to get choked. What, Rodney?
I think Rodney also sounds like a name of a of a
Of a victim.
of a of a brawler. Rodney.
Anyway.
Rod.
Yeah. Huh?
Yo, no, man.
Okay, let's continue. So the police issued an arrest warrant, and basically Rodney is known for his resemblance of another YouTuber or Logan Paul. And at first I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I don't know. He looks like a $2 bill Logan Paul, but a $3 bill Logan Paul. A dollar store Logan Paul. But then
I think they do look alike though.
if you're drunk, yes, but that's what I thought initially. Then I looked further, and they are the same length. And if you look from afar, if you have cataracts in your eye, no, I'm just kidding. He looks alike. They look alike, man. They look alike. I gotta give it. I gotta give it. They look alike. Yeah. Now they if they wear the same stuff, you might in a rush on a Saturday night, late night, you might be mistaken. Well, that's not really a good thing for Rodney because Logan has amassed a couple of adversaries, ops throughout the years. Wasn't it Logan Paul who ran away from Mayweather a while back?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find that video.
I don't know. But guys, remember to, in the meantime, remember to like the video and share it with your friends, your family, and of course, share it with your enemies.
Yes. So that's what you get when you have a lot of enemies. Well, share the video. This is Logan Paul.
Yo, this shit's going down. This shit's going down. This shit's going down.
Floyd. This is Floyd's entourage. There you have Floyd. So you can see him. And there's Jake.
But that's Jake. That's not Logan.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe it's Jake. So it's the one who's gonna fight. Potato. They all look alike. Look at this. Oh, let me go back. He was standing there. They were talking to him. Jake was like, I'm not gonna get knocked out here.
Of course not. Of course not.
Protect yourself at all times, even though the streets is asking you.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Anyway, guys. Well,
Avoid the fight.
Huh? Avoid the fight, yes.
Yeah, a
because-
true martial artist gets learned, is taught that it's better to avoid fights instead of getting engaged in one, because you never know, especially the street fight, you never know what can happen. So you never know if someone has something with him. So it's best to avoid fights.
Yeah, so they have the brothers have amassed a couple of ops throughout the years. So who knows? Maybe we'll see more of these chokeouts of Rodney, man. You know. Good luck. Because luck you will need. Let's continue. So what did happen? Basically, after the police issued that arrest, Nate Diaz basically handed himself in, as he should, showing that he's willing to cooperate and that he's also not going to flee. Again, not doing the race. He didn't last very long, spent a couple of hours in the jail after turning himself in, and then they released him on bond. So right now, they are investigating what are the next steps. What is he? He's being charged with second-degree battery, right?
Yes, second-degree battery, which is, so you have 3 degrees. First degree is simply you touch somebody, but it doesn't cause harm, right? Second degree is when there's light damage or perhaps very little damage. And third degree is aggravated battery. That's when you leave the person with serious bodily harm. So in this case, it's a second degree. He's being charged with second degree um, battery.
Yeah, so basically now he's being charged with that. I mean, the lawsuit just started, and you already get guys like Jake and Logan trying to make fun videos of this situation. There is a clip out there where they are basically trying to respond to that choking.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me share the screen with you guys. And go a little bit to the left. Okay, let's take a look.
Back to jakeselfdefense.com. Today we're going to be teaching you what to do if you see a homeless Stockton man trying to come at you in the middle of the streets. Now, if you look anything like a Paul brother, keep your eyes peeled because the streets are hot. Now, I'll be demonstrating the MMA fighter, and this will be the poor victim on the side of the street.
Whoa, well, I really don't want any problems. Please leave me alone. I don't want any problems.
I don't give a fuck, man.
Oh,
So I got him in this snorkel now, and what you're going to want to do is take out your safety snorkel and insert the snorkel for extra airflow. So now that you're able to breathe during the chokehold, you're going to escape and punish. Run away. You're going to run away. JakeSelfDefense.com. Welcome back to Jake's.
I don't know.
It's not that funny. It's
Yeah.
the, yeah.
Could have been better, guys. Could have been better. I mean, yeah, this is not my type of humor. Maybe it's your type of humor, RJ. But
No, it's not my type either.
okay. But
I
they
like
were
the funny
they-
kind.
Well, it has 1.7 million views. So people are looking out. I mean, this is content, right? We're living in a content world.
It's content, and of course, there's the fight coming up between Diaz and Nate Diaz and Jake Paul, and of course, what the Paul brothers are known for. And I might not like their jokes, but I do like their way of doing business. Is no, they're very good at at hyping things up. So that is definitely what I mean. Why waste a good or never waste a good crisis is what the saying says. So I think Jake Paul saw the opportunity to help
Promote.
his fight. Yeah, definitely. And the
Fight,
fact
yeah.
that this guy, the guy Peterson, looked like a Paul brother, really helped as well. You know, so it's a good thing for them.
And the fight is really between Jake and Nate. It's on the 5th of August. Nice where is it? In Dallas, Texas. Pay-per-view available globally.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so the question is, could it be that the Paul brothers sent Peterson to be a crash dummy
No.
as a promotion for the fight?
I don't exclude that possibility. Let me put it that way. I don't exclude that possibility. But
This is the hype that they were looking for. Maybe Nate was also into this, and then, or maybe Nate didn't know. Maybe it's best that they doesn't know. You hype up the show, Now people really want to see. I didn't
Yeah.
even know there was a fight between these two.
yeah, well, something. I mean, I do not exclude that possibility. Of course, Rodney Peterson had a relationship, or had um, a relationship with uh, Logan Paul, because they say they look alike the most. We just show the picture, so it could be as well that Rodney is a friend or considers them to be friends and wanted to stick up for his friends, something to that extent. I don't know. To be honest, that's the least important and least interesting part of the story as well. But yeah, it's what you said. The Nate turned himself in, and shortly after was released on bond, because basically he doesn't form menace to the public, and he doesn't represent a flight risk. So no reason to keep him in jail.
Yeah, so last time around we looked at how the fight unfolded. So we basically broke down step by step what happened. We basically said we came to a conclusion that the way Nate handled it is the best way possible in that situation, where he choked out Rodney, basically dismantling de-escalating the best way he could in that situation, and then laid him down. Well, apparently that according to Rodney, he got a head injury from that. Well, at least some wounds, a wound. But we came to a conclusion that, I mean, in that situation, he could have fought it out, but he chose not to, and basically choke him out and put him down, continue his flight. But that was based on the video that was released. Then, apparently, there is another video, RJ, where you can see what happened before the original video.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a look at a breakdown, which seems that the breakdown was by people from Nate's camp. But let's take a look at what happens. Let me share my screen. Let me mute the audio because I'm pretty sure that audio will get a copyright strike. Let's start. So you see here, let me go back. You see here basically Nate trying to walk away from the fights or the commotion.
Yeah, because there are more things happening on the streets. If you look at the background, there are more fights going on. But of course, the camera is on Nate because Nate is the big name. It's the big dog.
Big dog. So, oh, whoa. Yeah, so basically you see him walking away here. It says trying to walk away, start around. And there we have Rodney.
Rodney Paul.
Oh, they put the stats up.
Well, I went and checked the stats, and I saw. So I don't know if the stats are correct, or maybe there's a different site where you can view the stats. But I saw that he had 6 losses in his amateur MMA fight and 1 win in his boxing professional fight, something to that extent. But
they only show the BBJ stats.
he's a jiu-jitsu fighter. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
I cannot zoom in right now, but that's what the it says here, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and it seems like the stats here are only this jiu-jitsu one. 10 by submission, 1 by disqualification, 1 by walkover, 1 by points. So I
Okay.
think that's only the jiu-jitsu stats. But anyway, let's continue. He keeps moving towards Nate. Nate he's trying to go towards Nate, right? Let's see. He's walking towards Nate. Nate is trying to avoid everything.
You know, all the people, and you can see all the people fighting as well.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, KR, I just wanna illustrate something. Some people were saying that Rodney had his hands up as if he didn't want to fight. Okay, he's a jiu-jitsu fighter
That's also
and he's a grappler. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter and he's a grappler. And so a jiu-jitsu fighter / grappler. And he does MMA on amateur level. But MMA, you use your strongest technique, in which in his case seems to be jiu-jitsu or box. So the fact that he had his hands open like this, guys, it doesn't mean that he didn't want to fight. To be more specific, his hands were in the front like this. He didn't have his hands like this. He had the hands in the front, forward, as if to grab possibly and start fighting. Perhaps he wanted to do an arm drag, in which case you would need your hand. Perhaps he was trying to measure the distance as well, because as the Gracie, I've learned it from Gracie breakdown by Hanner Gracie and his brother.
You're also, by the way, guys, before we continue, RJ, you also practice BJJ, right?
Also a blue belt, and I can tell you that as a blue belt, you have no problems to seek with Nate Diaz. I can tell you that. But okay, so the fact that, what did you say?
Crash dummy.
You wouldn't, but let's say he, as a blue belt, or as a fighter, you also have a distance, right? So you have, if you are outside of arm's length and kicking a range, then you're safe in a fight. The other, if you get closer and you're within arm strike or kick or a leg kick, then you are in the danger zone. And there, as you can see, I don't know if you can zoom in a bit, but
Give me a second.
But he is definitely, Nate is definitely in the danger zone. What do I mean by that? He is just Rodney Peterson would just need to do this motion.
This is the closest I can get.
But he's in a danger zone. So if you can clearly see that their hands, if they stretch their hands, they would touch each other. They can touch each other. So, and the hands, I mean, if you imagine you're Nate Diaz, you're trying to walk away and someone walks up to you with their hands like this, in your space, you're in a danger zone. So what can you do in a situation like that? You need to...
As a trained fighter. So this is how he recognizes this stuff.
Yeah, but you need to move to a safe, space. And a safe space, you can do that by two ways. By trying to create distance, which is what Nate was trying to do before Peterson came up to him. And the other way, safe way to do that, is to close the distance and get closer, grapple with the person, which he does by means of a guillotine choke, a headlock, and choke, because when you are close to someone, the person has less explosive force to hit you.
By the way, if you look really, what I just saw, he tries to grab his arm. Look at this. Just you see right before, seems like he's trying to grab his arm. He's trying to move his arm away, right?
You need to play it in motion for me to see.
Well, cannot do it real. That's a bummer. Let me move it here. So
Okay,
he,
so there he comes and the man has his hands up. But you're closing the distance,
yeah, he's coming closer and closer.
and he is against the wall. So what he does is, of course, you grab the hands. Why do you grab the hands? Because that's the way he can kick. He puts one hand down,
Jesus, this guy's the worst.
but you need to go to the other video. The other video shows it better.
Okay. Let's take a look at the other video.
Is that the other video?
That's the other video, yes.
Oh, then I don't think if. Oh no,
You
then you won't see
only
it here.
the
No, now go back to the other one. So what he seems to do is, it seems like he's controlling the hand. Of course, you need to control the hand because that's what he can attack you with. And there, the guy goes to the fight, to the other people fighting.
Jesus. Guys, please, guys, before you continue, RJ, guys, when you're recording, try to focus on one thing, guys. Don't go all over the place. We're trying to create content over here, and because of you, we cannot analyze this correctly. I'm sorry, guys. Whoever recorded this, go to a recording school, man. You're screwing up. You could have sold this to Fox News, you know. Now how can you break this down correctly?
But go back, because we can assume. I mean, what we can assume is that because if you go to the there he's already in the lock.
He's already in the lock. Yeah.
Go back.
That is here.
Okay, stop it right there. What he does by controlling the arm like that, you basically not only avoid that he will punch you, but you can also control the body. Because if someone has your hands like this and pulls you, you will follow the motion. So, and by putting one hand down, the neck becomes accessible for the lock. If someone has their hands like this, the first thing you need to do is take the hands out of the equation, so you have access to the neck. So he did it to, first of all, assess the situation. So your hands in a fight is how you can assess how close or far away someone is. He assessed that the person was close. He had his hands up, but he was walking towards him. He may or may not have known that the guy was a fighter, but the guy was clearly looking for trouble. And Nate, who tried to walk away, found himself up against the wall with someone walking up to him. He put his hands up as if to say, you come closer, I'm going to fight. The guy kept on walking. So Logan Paul lookalike. Logan Paul lookalike thought, okay, I'm going to talk to him. And I mean, at that point, but he kept on walking. He kept on walking in his direction. So
he has his hands up here. So
up to this point, no, go back a bit, just a bit. Up to that point, he's in the safe zone. He's in the safe zone. He's in the safe zone. He's walking. He's in the safe zone. But he keeps closing the distance.
Oh, here
And
you see him. I think you see Nate. He has his arms down here because this is his arm.
yeah, he has his arm stretched.
Yeah.
And he sees, stop
He
it right
sees him
there.
closer.
He sees him coming, so he closes the distance because you're getting in my space. Stop it right here. So here, Nate can still throw a punch, but the Peterson is maybe he's still
It's too
far away, right?
Too far away.
But continue. What does Peterson do? He closes the distance even further. So Nate takes the hands out of the equation and then goes for the choke. That's what he does.
And then Rodney found out it was all
Rodney confused.
a bad idea.
Rodney probably confused the UFC with the WWE.
Anyway, guys, RJ, do you have something to say about subscribers and liking?
Yes, guys. We like it when you subscribe. So, subscribe to our. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. We want to reach 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. We see that a lot of recurring viewers aren't subscribed, and it really means a lot to us. So, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. And of course, remember to share this video with your friends, your family, and your enemies. Remember as well to rate the show by pressing the like button and follow us on our socials at Double Touch Show on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe, guys. It means a lot
Yes,
to us.
sir. Yes, sir. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. As RJ said, let's continue with the show. So basically, we see that there is a Nate is more on the defense right here. So he's not the one assaulting. Well, he's not the one attacking Rodney. He's more the one protecting himself from Rodney. And if I'm not mistaken, RJ, Louisiana is a stand your ground state, right?
Yeah, from what I read, it is a stand your ground state. But let me talk first, perhaps about some aspects that play a role in this situation, because you have the self-defense argument that Nate will most likely use.
Mm-hmm.
And self-defense basically means, I mean, there are a couple of elements. First of all, it really needs to be defense. So it can be that someone did something to you, turned away, and you went and
clocked him in the head.
Yeah, or you went to seek, you try to seek revenge, right? So there needs to be an imminent danger. That's one of the criteria. Not only does it need to be an imminent danger to yourself or your property or someone else, but there also needs to be your reaction needs to be proportionate. And that means, what is proportionate? Proportionate means that if you had the opportunity to walk away or to run, then you should have done so, right? So so in this case, it's clear that Nate was in imminent danger. The environment he was in, you could clearly see a lot of people who were fighting in the streets around him, and so that's dangerous in itself. Nate trying to walk around the fight, trying to avoid the fight, which clearly shows that he was trying to walk away, and him being pursued by someone who we later found out was Rodney Peterson. I don't think he's a professional MMA fighter like the video says, but he is an MMA fighter. He is definitely a practitioner of martial arts, jiu-jitsu, boxing and MMA, so he is a fighter.
Maybe maybe MMA fighter is the new rapper. You drop 2 songs, you're a rapper these days. So
Yeah. So whatever the case may be, he tried to. So I think there was imminent danger present. Could Nate have ran away or walked away? I would argue that he. I mean, he could have. Perhaps he could have ran, but at that particular time, I think it's safe to say that he
could he
was
have though? In that situation with all those
the
fights,
the prosecutor would say that he could have. They always say that because technically speaking, he could have. The question is whether that would have been the right thing to do. Because as you say, they were people fighting. But if you show the video, he could have ran to the right or to the left. But
really?
KR,
Let me
yes.
see. Let me take a look. Let me take a look. No, he's here. He's walking around. The guy is pursuing him. He's looking his way. So
Keep going, keep going,
Rodney,
keep going.
yeah, he's here.
Yeah, keep going,
Rodney is walking towards him.
keep going.
Here, let's see. Before you know, he's here. He's standing here. This guy's this guy is doing. He's trying to fight. Is he trying to fight Rodney?
I think he's. I think he doesn't know if Rodney
He's trying
is
to
coming
attack
for
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he pushed Rodney out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So he,
Yeah, but KR. So what I'm trying to say is, look, go back, just a bit. I'm trying to say, yeah, he could have run. First of all, let's just say the footage is bad.
that's that's what I said.
Yeah,
Guys,
but KR. So it's important in situations like this to think. When argument, I'm not saying I think so. I personally think that he did the right thing, but I'm saying you need to look at it as objectively as possible. The prosecutor will say that he could have ran, and he would point to spaces in the crowd. That's the first thing. Second of all, you don't know what was behind him. Maybe there was no crowd behind him, but I think so that's what I'm saying. But I think based on the situation on the video, it was fairly reasonable, or at least it's reasonable to assume that anyone in that particular situation would have done the same. I know that I would have. You just put your hands up because even the dude in the white t-shirt put his hands up
he was being attacked by
when he
Rodney.
thought.
Oh no, you're not attacking me. Let me go out of the way because I'm not gonna be the victim here.
Yeah. So I think it was fair to say that he had to fight. The question then becomes is whether the way he fought was reasonable or not. In my opinion, there were two options. Either you choke him out like he did, or you start throwing punches. Now, guys, if you don't know who Nate Diaz is, just go look at some fights and ask yourself whether you would want him to punch you or put you to sleep. Because this guy is a savage when it comes to fighting. So he actually did the best thing, in my opinion, that he could have done in that situation, which was take the arms out of the way, take the arms out of the equation, go for the guillotine choke. The dude was down within 10 seconds. He put him down. Some people say, and I also saw that he should have put him down more gently. But others argue, and that is a very legitimate argument, when there are people fighting around you, that's the worst time to try to put someone to rock somebody to sleep and make sure that the person doesn't hit his heads, especially since the person was the one who initiated the fight.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because, well, he could have rocked him differently as well, rocked him to sleep that way. But you don't know who's with him, right? His friends. If you're trying to put him softly down like a baby, his friends might come out of nowhere and try to kick your head. Now you're
Yeah.
laying down next to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, definitely.
So you gotta protect. It's proportionate. I think that's the right word in this case. I mean, in the situation where there is a huge fight going out, and people are trying to fight each other. You don't know who's who. You don't know what is what. You choke them out. Basically, neutralize the threat. Put them down as good as you can. No, don't forget, man. This guy is tall, so I mean, try to
Yes.
put down
Yeah. Yeah.
try to put down a tall guy. That's not easy as well.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
And what
have.
al-
Yeah.
and what also helps is that that the other guy was a fighter as well, maybe an amateur fighter, but a fighter as well.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Should have stayed at home, Rodney. Rodney,
Yeah.
choose your
and,
fight, man.
and just to be clear, he fought against, again, Nate Diaz. You know who Nate Diaz is? If
Hey,
you
people
don't know,
avoid Nate out of the ring.
if you don't know, Nate Diaz was the guy that choked out Conor McGregor. So his choke game is strong. This guy is a savage. And trust me, go look at that fight. Go look at that fight.
Oh
Go look at the McGregor versus Nate Diaz fight. And Conor McGregor is an elite fighter as well. We're not talking about a scrub. We're talking about an elite fighter.
Oh man.
By the way, that explains the text message that McGregor sent as well. But of course, you're gonna trust me. Go look at Conor. Go look at the Conor McGregor versus Nate fight, and that's of check out the fight of UFC number 279, because I think they went. I don't know. I think they did a rematch or other matches. I'm not sure about that. But see how Conor walked out that fight, and see how this dude got out the fight. Peterson. Peterson got out safely. So
I mean, this is Nate facing police, man. This is the type of guy.
Excuse me.
Let me see.
Excuse me.
Let me mute this. They're holding him back. There is, I cannot find that clip right now, but there is a clip where basically he's walking past a guy. Oh, it's this one. It's this one. It's this one. Let me zoom in a little bit. Basically, you see the guy flinch. He's walking past him. Yo, if a police is like, whoa, look at this. He's looking at him. No.
yeah, this guy.
He's a
Yeah.
threat.
So if you don't want him to throw punches, you don't want Nate Diaz to throw punches. So trust me, Rodney Peterson got off safely, all circumstances considering, and I think legally speaking, Nate can definitely press for or successfully argue a self-defense. But you asked something at the beginning, KR, and I didn't talk about that. But that was the stand your ground state. Louisiana is a stand your ground state, and the incident happened in New Orleans. Now, I must say that stand your ground state basically means that in states, and the best example would be Texas, for example. If someone finds you in their house or in their cars, then they can attack. Then they have the right not only to defend themselves proportionately, they can even do it disproportionately. So, for example, if you're in Texas and you're on someone's property, that person can end your career on this earth. So, and in some instances, you can even go as far as to delete someone. In other states, so in some states you can go as far as deleting someone. In other states, you're not allowed to delete someone, but you are allowed to, for example, cause disproportionate harm. Now, that's one thing. And another difference is that in some states, you can in some states the law only applies in your when you're in your house or in your car. In other states it can happen in a public space as well. So if in a if so the because so that difference from state to state. I'm not a US lawyer, so I cannot say how it is in the US, especially, and I'm definitely not I definitely cannot say for certain how it is in Louisiana. But from what I understand, in Louisiana, that law applies in public places as well. So if that is the case, if that is the case, let's assume that the stand your ground law applies to public spaces in Louisiana. That would imply that even if Nate Diaz applied disproportionate a disproportionate response to the situation, he would still not be found guilty under that law. It's a very controversial law. KR and I were talking about this right before the show. That was also the reason, and KR remarked why Zimmerman was acquitted in the case against Trayvon Martin because of that law. So it's a very controversial law, but in this case in itself, but in this particular case, it might be a lifesaver for Nate. So to answer KR's question at the beginning, will the fight go on? The official fight between the official fight between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul in, what was it? You said September, was it?
August.
In August, the chance is very likely that the fight will go on.
Okay, let's see how it happens, guys. At the end of the day, yeah, I don't think like RJ said, it seems like it seems like a full self-defense situation. The guy was approaching him, hands up, trying to maybe grab his arm or not. He's trying to flee the situation from what we can see in the video. And yeah, let's see what will happen. But at the end, we will continue as well. Keep updating you guys on this matter. RJ, do you have a recap for us?
Yes, guys. We really hope you enjoyed today's show as much as we have, because that was the first time we have a bunch of shows about athletes in legal cases, former athletes in legal cases. This is the first one that we had a video with action. So let us know what you think. Of course, with these videos, we usually don't show a lot because of YouTube rules. We want to just to be safe. We don't want to be demonetized if it's not necessary. But let us know what you think of today's show. In today's show, we talked about the developments in the Nate Diaz potential criminal case. He was uh, an arrest warrant was issued against him for an incident that happened last week, where he was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Last week it was
Time flies.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, time
Yeah,
flies.
yeah, yeah. 2 weeks ago, after a fight where he was walking on the street and were people probably drunk and fighting one another, and he was approached by a tall, or at least a taller person, who afterwards we learned was a jiu-jitsu practitioner, boxer, an amateur MMA fighter by the name of Rodney Peterson, who
And a body.
Anna.
And a body
What do you mean by that?
in the New Orleans streets.
So he was approached. We saw on the video that between Nate and, so there was another guy that was standing. That's just a hilarious side note. There was another guy standing there in front of Nate, because Nate was trying to get away, and Peterson was basically approaching him. He was seeking him out, and as he was approaching Nate, there was a shorter guy in a white t-shirt who put up his hands because he thought that Peterson was coming for him. But then he saw, but Nate pushed him out the way.
Yeah.
You can see clearly that Nate pushed him out the way because he knew that Peterson was looking for him. We saw on the video, we saw very briefly how Nate basically eliminated his arms, or at least took his arms out of the equation by grabbing them. And afterwards, he probably did an arm drag to get to his neck, to get a guillotine choke, standing guillotine. Well, with the headlock, he put him to sleep in less than 10 seconds time, because as I already said in the previous show, with a blood choke, you can go out in seconds. Afterwards, we talked about that in the last show, but in today's show, we talked about how Nate Diaz was, or he willingly went to the police station to give himself up. Afterwards, he was released on bond, and we talked about how we broke down the fight, but also talked about what happened to him, or what will happen to him. According to both KR and myself, it seems like he was acting in self-defense. And I also mentioned that, and I broke down the various criteria of self-defense. He wasn't the one looking for trouble. The problem found him. He put his hands up. The guy kept approaching him, and his reaction was, in our opinion, proportionate, because he could have thrown punches, but if he had thrown punches, then it would have ended with way more damage, broken face and all. So he did he handled it the most effective way possible. He neutralized the situation by probably doing an arm drag, getting to the neck, choking him out, laying him to the ground, maybe not as gentle as he could have, but seeing as the situation around him was very aggressive, a lot of people fighting, you can't take chances in street fights. Usually, that's what I learned from a friend of mine, by the way. It's a 7-second rule. If a fight breaks out, whether it's in a club, whether it's in a bar, whether it's at someone's house, make sure that after 7 seconds, you're gone. Because after 7 seconds, the danger becomes more higher. People can start kicking you. Friends can come out of nowhere throwing soccer punches. So 7 seconds. Well, he did reach the 7 seconds, I believe, and walked away safely. So a self-defense argument will most likely, or at least we believe that a self-defense argument will be successful, even if it's not successful in itself. Because let's say the judge say the reaction was disproportionate because New Orleans is a stand your ground state, and from what I've read, that stand your law, the stand your ground law also applies to public spaces. Then uh, Diaz might even be found innocent, or at least not worthy of taking the case to trial because of the law. So um, I guess we'll wait and see. But everything points towards Nate Diaz being available to continue his pay-per-view fight in August with Jake Paul.
Against Jake Paul.
Yeah, against Jake Paul. Yeah, against Jake Paul. Anything you wanted to add to my recap, KR?
Yeah, I think one thing I'm watching the breakdown which we showed earlier, and I think maybe that guy in the white is a case where he can use as an example of the guy also recognizing the threat in this case, because initially the guy seems to be also standing ready to fight. He's seeing Peterson approach. And up until then, until he gets pushed away by Nate, he's like, "Oh, there's someone behind me," so he's not sure. So maybe he can use that as well as how can you say that, as proof that it seemed like he was attacking him in this case, which resulted in him having to defend himself.
Yeah, that's
But
a
yeah.
very good point because in self-defense, the claim is that anyone you have to convince the judge that everyone or anybody in that same situation would have acted the same way, and the person also put his hands up. So
Yeah, so look at this. Look, I'm just trying to take a real quick look at this. He's standing here, and then he's recognizing that the guy is coming towards him. He's putting his hands up already, ready to fight, and then he
Yeah.
gets pushed away
by
by Nate.
Nate.
And then he's like, "Oh, there's someone behind me. Oh, it's not me. He's trying to fight."
Yeah.
And then he finds himself in another punch out. But yeah, so maybe that will be, that guy will make a great case for Nate
Yeah.
to prove that it's clearly that it seemed like an attack. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to add.
All
Other than
right.
that-
All right, guys. Hey, thanks to everyone that's watching this pre-recorded live show, as well as those watching the rebroadcast. Whatever your thoughts are, please let us know in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us. We want to reach 1,000 subs by the end of June of this year. We see that a lot of you guys watch the shows, but you do not subscribe. If you've watched the shows a couple of times, or if you're interested in, you like our style, you like our takes, or if you don't and you just want someone to argue with weekly, subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. Remember to rate the show by pressing the like button, share it with your friends, your family, and of course your enemies. And don't forget to follow us on our socials at Double Touch Show on both Facebook and Instagram. That's Double Touch Show on Facebook and Instagram. As Kara always says at the end of the show,
but I can only show you the door.
And behind that door, there's always someone who's trying to attack you. But you have to assess the situation and make sure you don't flinch without any reason. Don't flinch without any reason.
yeah.
Don't flinch, guys.
And as Peterson showed, it's better to run away instead of sticking your neck out. Let's have a healthy conversation in the comment section below, and we'll see each other in the next one. It's been a pleasure, and until next time.